So the last thing I'd tell you is this: is that the campaign we're running it's a challenge. It's going to take some courageous people who will stand with us. But anyone who hears what I'm saying, anyone who's even slightly possibly open to this simple idea, is it possible that the two-party systems that have run us for so long, the left side and the right side, the two parties, is it remotely possible that possibly they are the core problem that causes all of our other problems? All of the problems that we see day in and day out through the government and through the society, is it even slightly possible that because of their bitter hatred towards each other, and because they pit us against each other every election cycle, and because victory for them doesn't necessarily seem to be victory for the tax-paying, hard-working people, but victory for those ruling political parties seems to be more defined by just destroying the other side, is it slightly possible that the two-party system who have ruled us for so long is the core problem? And if it is, my question to everyone who'd hear this is this: is it possible that this year we should have the courage to think independent? People want to think independent. People like the ideas of being free. But then when they go to the voting booth, they say, I don't know if that guy could win. But I say this year we can. The independent movement has a force. There are many people out there who are just looking for an opportunity. And I'm encouraging people this year to say, this year we can take it back. We're not asking for money. All we're asking for is that people who will spread the good news through the social media and through their friends, maybe this year we take it back. So I'd like to encourage people who are listening, who hear this on the internet, who can influence friends. The big money people are going to win unless we decide to stand on principle this year.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Stay there. Everyone stay there. Tape ran out. So
Nope.
do that one. Do the whole thing. Do that again. Okay.
Oh.
I'm sorry. That's all right.
That's all right.
Okay. So I'll even lead you in. I wanted to cover this as well. You're running for. Tell me about what you're doing in your campaign.
Our Imagine Liberty campaign. I'm running for the office of governor as an independent candidate. It's quite a big challenge ahead of us. But I'd like to tell everyone who's listening, anyone who hears our videos, anyone who sees the work we're doing, I'd like to say that if you have even a hint in your mind that possibly the two-party systems who have ruled us for so long, possibly they're our problem. What if they have ruled us for so long and that victory for them as they fight against each other, what if victory for that side is no longer defined by victory for the voting people, the hard-working people, but what if victory is only defined by defeat and ridicule and slander of the other side? All of the issues that we have, the federal issues, the state issues, all of the issues that trouble us, isn't it possible that at the root core of those comes our two-party systems, the two parties who are possibly not looking out for the best interest of the voters anymore? And so for anyone who would hear what we're doing, I'd suggest that this year we have the possibility to have the courage to think independent. This year, maybe when we walk into the voting booth, maybe when we sit down to write out our ballot, maybe instead of thinking, which side will I vote for, maybe we'll have the courage to say, this year I've had enough. This year is the year that I vote on principle. They're not really getting me anything to begin with. They're just coloring the room a different color, blue and red, every 4 years. Maybe this year I'll have the courage to think independent and let my vote truly count.
What has both parties done that have been part of the problem, generally?
I think they're at the core of all the problems. I believe that
Are they both for big wars, big debt?
Yeah. I can't see any difference between them. I know those who are diehards on each side would differ.
So you're suggesting that once Obama got into office, he kind of governed like George Bush? I
didn't see him any different. I thought the wars were going to end. They didn't. I guess that didn't become as important. I don't see a bit of difference anymore. I see difference in the words that they say, and I see difference in the way that they say the things. But I see no difference in between two of the political parties.
What are the core problems, like at least 3 or 4, that our nation is facing in terms of the one party generally ruling for the last however many years it's been, last 100 years, last 20 or 10 years? What are the core problems?
Well, the core problems are they never fix anything. So, we have a $15+ trillion debt, and that's just talked about something that we might ought to address. We have a $65 to $110 trillion unfunded liability, and it depends on what website you're reading on that. Problem is nobody even knows the true answer. No one knows. They never fix any problems. And you don't have to watch much to know that the only answer we ever get is it's not our fault, it was the other side's fault. And I don't ever see any true solutions. I like the analogy of the house, which is the fact that a house on the inside might look nice, but if you have a foundation that's crumbling, you have to get underneath the house. You have to talk about the foundational truths. And what we seem to get, pardon the simplicity of the analogy, but what we seem to get is every election cycle, we have each of the sides standing in the house, and they're inside talking about what color they should paint the room. One side saying we should paint the room red, and the other side saying we should paint the room blue, and they're talking about why it's beginning to creak, and they're talking about why they're getting draft that's blown through it. And the reason they say is because the other side didn't paint the room well enough. But realistically, we have foundational problems that they never address because of the partisanship, whatever it is, but they never address those. All they cater to is just defeat of the other side. The independent movement of people like you and I possibly, and others who might hear our message, the independent movement is people who get what we're saying. They get the idea that it is at least possible that the two-party system is at the root cause of that. And if we even think for a minute that maybe their fighting and bickering isn't getting us anywhere. I mean, they've had control a lot of years. Maybe they don't want to get anywhere. And enough people who say, you know what, this year I'm going to make my vote count.
What is the criteria, briefly, by which you call things wise? Sustainability? Efficiency? What is it? Do you have a core set of principles?
Wisdom?
So some people would say, the progressives would say, what's wise is whatever the government can do things to make things better. The government can legislate a better society. Free market people say generally individual liberty, morality, those sort of things will, whatever they are, a set of principles will lead to a successful society. What would you say?
I say it's wise, extremely wise, to let people take care of themselves. It is extremely wise to trust that people make choices for themselves. Many people, most people, make choices that are wise for themselves. Some people do not. Government can't change those who do not. It is wise for us to let people make their own decisions. Some people make decisions that are poor for them, but it's their choice. We would see a growth of healthiness in our towns and in our communities. When people feel like they're being told what to do, they begin to shell up. They begin to hide from that. And even though we don't want to believe we are, but we feel like we're being controlled. And what we would see if we just would begin to believe in the wisdom of liberty, we might be challenged. We might be challenged to wonder, what about all the things that But I'm just suggesting that it's wise to trust people. It's wise to trust that we are a benevolent people. We're a wise people. And families and young people, they can make decisions for themselves. And I believe we'd see a growth much like a flower. It would burst forth with color, and we would see, when we pursue liberty, we would see things happen that we never knew were possible.
So you're saying that liberty will heal the individual, free the individual, and empower a society of individuals to achieve their best in their life, and that collectively together will lead to a better America.
Isn't, aside from all the other history, isn't that what founded us? The pursuit of liberty? Wasn't that truly the greatest idea ever? The pursuit of liberty? And what we're suggesting to people is that this is our movement now. The independent movement of people who are in the pursuit of liberty, who are in the pursuit of rightness and morality and principles and letting people take care of themselves. That's the true foundation of what we were as a country, the pursuit of liberty. And I'm just suggesting that everyone who hears this, you have the possibility this year to truly make your vote count. not just to be another cog in the wheel for the two ruling political sides who really don't have your best interest in mind to begin with.
Dale Sorgen, running for governor of the state of Washington, 2012. Thank you very much.
Thank you.